everyone, it's Christina from the DIYmummy.com, and today I want to share with you a few simple DIYs that you can make for your fall front porch. These ones use a lot of dollar store and thrifted items, and I love how they look on our front porch. We recently got our porch retiled. My husband and his team of professionals did it. Not a DIY, so I won't share it with you on the channel. However, it did inspire me to make a few beautiful fall DIYs for our front porch this season. The first one I want to share with you is a boho inspired natural looking wreath. You guys know that I love a good grapevine wreath and I think they always look good, so this time I wanted to challenge myself to make something a little bit more unique. So I started with a large embroidery hoop. I just used 1/2 of the hoop, and then I found this pampas grass online on Etsy. I will leave a link to it down in the description box below. I've been trying this year for this season to use a few natural grasses, some dried grasses, mixed in with some dollar store and Michael's florals to kind of add a lot of natural texture to my designs. Then I took some of these hydrangeas that I found at Dollar Tree and I glue gunned them to the top of the hoop. I also found these Dollar Tree roses in the fall floral section and I'm hot gluing them as well to the top of the hoop wreath. These purpley, almost aubergine colored leaves I found at Michael's. I only bought one stem of these and I just pulled off a few of them and also glued those to the top of the hoop. I found these dried grasses off of Etsy as well. I'm just going to trim them and I have one on each side of the top of the wreath like this. So I decided to put all of my florals on top. So this wreath is going to hang almost like a floral crown on top with a hoop on the bottom. You could flip it and put all the florals on the bottom of the wreath. The design is totally up to you. Next, I took these berries. I found these at Michael's as well. I'm gluing them to the bottom of the wreath in the center. And then I decided to kind of tack down some of those grasses with some more hot glue on the side of the hoop wreath. I also took some of the leaves from the dollar store stems and I'm putting some hot glue on the backs of them and just tucking them inside of the florals on top of the wreath to add some dimension and also add some more of the green color to the wreath. I found these yellow leaves at Michael's last year and I added a couple of those into the top of the wreath as well. And here is how my boho inspired wreath turned out. I really like how it looks against the deep teal of our front door. And I also really like that it's something different and something different than what I would do normally for a fall front door wreath. The next DIY I want to show you is a fall front door mat. So I found this foam mat at Dollarama. It was only $2, and then I found this beautiful shower curtain at Simon's in Canada. It was only $15, I believe. I will link to these down below if I can find them online. And then I put the mat on top of the shower curtain, and I'm just trimming the shower curtain to be about 2 inches wider than the mat. You could use any type of fabric, but I just really love the colors and the pattern on the shower curtain, and it wasn't very expensive and I can use the rest of the shower curtain for other DIYs. Next, I'm using this Varathane triple thick coating. It's a poly coating and I'm putting some on the back, the smooth side of my foam mat, just like this, with a foam roller. So Varathane is so cool because you can use it to not only seal things like woodworking projects and paint projects, but it also can be used as an adhesive as well. So I'm going to roll this all over the mat. And then after it's rolled, I'm taking the piece of shower curtain that I cut out and I'm pressing it firmly onto the Varathane foam mat, and I'm just making sure that I'm pulling it nice and smooth and then finally smoothing it with my hands so that there's no wrinkles in the fabric. And it sticks really well to that coating, to that Varathane, which then sticks to the foam mat. Once everything is smooth, I'm flipping my mat upside down and I'm taking a small craft foam brush and I'm brushing the edges of my foam mat just like this. And then I'm also brushing a couple inches of the back side of the foam mat with the Varathane and the foam craft brush. Next, I'm pulling my shower curtain fabric around the back of the mat and then just kind of pressing it and pulling it so that the rest of the fabric is smooth on the front, on the sides, and on the back here. Then I'm taking a hot glue gun and I'm tacking the corners with the hot glue. I wasn't able to tack the corners down as well as I wanted to with the Varathane only, so here's where a hot glue gun comes in handy, and I was able to kind of fold the corners a little bit and make them nice and neat. Now I put the mat right side up and I'm taking some more of that Varathane, pouring it on top of the mat, and then rolling it out with a foam roller. So this is going to help create a nice wipeable coating for my mat, and once it dries it's really nice and hard. I'm just using a matte finish, but they also have a glossy finish, they have a semi-gloss finish, and it's just a really cool way to finish off a floor mat, especially if it's in a high traffic area where you can just rinse it down or wipe it down and it is really easy to clean. So once that was completely dry, I decided to add a little bit of extra to this mat. You don't have to do this part, especially considering it makes the mat a little bit harder to clean. However, I thought this was just a fun touch and I could easily take it off after. I used some dollar store twine and I wrote out the word hello on top of the mat with some pencil, and then I'm just using my hot glue gun and the twine and tracing over the word with the twine to make a fun little 3D hello shape. I did try this with some amber colored yarn. I didn't like it. I tried it with some darker yarn, didn't like it. So I ended up using this twine, and it was okay, but I didn't think the contrast was quite enough at the end once I finished the hello. So you'll see that after I do all of this, I actually just took some leftover latex paint I had on hand and I took a foam brush and then I just dabbed some kind of deep teal paint on top. Don't love this, but like I said, I can easily just take this off and wipe the pencil markings off of the mat because of that Varathane finish. All in all, I'm still happy with it. I think it turned out pretty cute despite the hello not really contrasting enough with the really detailed print on this fabric. But you can recreate this exactly how I did or leave the writing off. There's so many options with this one and you can really make it your own. This would also be a great technique for a DIY kitchen mat because again, that Varathane is so wipeable and you can use all sorts of different fabrics to create a custom mat that works perfectly with your own decor. The final craft I want to show you that I put on our front porch is a really cute little floral arrangement. I found this secondhand pumpkin little jar, I guess it's fully wood, from my local thrift store. It was only $5 Canadian, and then I just had an old block of floral foam and then these vintage looking ivory colored flowers from Michaels. They were buy one get one free, so I got 2 of these groups of stems. I just really loved the ivory color, so beautiful and vintage chic, and I also loved how the roses on here looked like they were dried. I really love that look, that dried flower, dried grasses kind of look, and I'm trying to sort of have that repeat throughout my home this fall season. So basically I just kind of broke open all the stems and putting them back into the floral foam in my thrifted pumpkin container. And then I'm also adding some dollar store wheat stalks. These are kind of the darker amber colored wheat stalks. I think these ones were from Dollarama. I know Dollar Tree has some as well. And then some more of that aubergine colored leaves that I found at Michael's. Again, I only bought 1 stem of those, so I'm just clipping off little pieces to sprinkle throughout my arrangements in my home this year. And once I put everything in my arrangement the way that I wanted to, here is how it turned out. Super cute, super unique with that thrifted pumpkin, little wooden container. I'm loving how it looks on our porch here. I just brought a little side table outside to go by our sectional, and I was thinking of painting this, but I love this kind of orangey color of the wood. I think it looks very autumn-like, and it's a great contrast to the teal that I have on my porch. I love summer and I love autumn as well, and decorating this porch for autumn was so much fun. I loved incorporating all of the different elements like these dried grasses. All of these pumpkins are faux for now. I just had them in my stash from years ago. I do want to put real pumpkins on our stairs. We've widened our stairs now that we've added the tile. I can't wait to put pumpkins and maybe some mums on there, so I will share that with you if that happens. I have my DIY Dollar Tree grateful pillow out here along with just some pillows I already had on hand. Love how that looks. Our dog Tippy never looks at the camera. I don't know, she doesn't like to be photographed. So there's the back of her head. There's how the front door looks. I just put a Christmas eucalyptus garland up. I think it works with all the other fall things. A couple of faux boxwood on either side of the door, more of the pumpkins I had on hand, and that is our fall porch this year. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more DIY and decor ideas on a budget. I'm going to leave some more videos that I hope you'll enjoy up in the top left corner.